Okay, so people have this thing about Amber where when you criticize the Amber character, they get kind of weird. And so they will say things about the Anthony character, and a lot of them are basically true, right? However, I feel like there's so much backstory that if you don't follow the backstory channels, narratives will be made up, and you basically will see Anthony as this scumbag of the earth that just that's who he was from inception, right? And that there was no change in his character at all. I wanted to work on something for you because I felt like the audience needed this at this point in time, especially with the divorce right now and all of that. And I'm not saying I'm trying to change the divorce or anything like that, but I felt like we needed some context. So I'm gonna start from when, and again, these are just short clips from when basically Shayla made her first move. Now we know that when this happened was after she left Amber's condo, realized Anthony was drunk and followed him home. Let me play this for y'all.
Ooh,
Yes, it was just like this. So clearly you can see her basically forcing herself up on him. And by the way, I hope y'all realize why I'm very hard pressed and hardline when it comes to Shayla. I don't give leeway because I knew what was going on and I saw what was going on and I talk about it. This is why I cannot give Amber leeway on Shayla, right? When she can win with anything else, on Shayla, she cannot win me on Shayla. And this is why I will stand very, very strong with the audience. But let's keep moving because I know it gets to probably the day after this.
you belong to Arby, and I belong to Amber. All right?
See, that's where you're wrong.
This is the day or a time after whatever has occurred, right? And Anthony goes over there and he's letting Shayla know, hey, you know what? You really and truly belongs to RB. This is really, really terrible. We should not be doing this at all. I want y'all to follow exactly what's going on right here. So regardless of how women want to see this, right? But y'all must understand what's going on. And some people say, Anthony's just a scumbag. He's a scum of the earth. As if he was not trying to stop all of this. Because I feel like people don't give him any credit, like he wasn't trying to do anything, as if he was just willy-nilly falling behind a Shayla. That's what you'd get if you were to watch, if you were to listen to a lot of the comments. You'd believe that Anthony from day one, once he had the issue with Shayla, he just kept following behind her, and that is not so. That is not so. Just like that, she shows the behind basically to show him what she thinks, he's missing. So again, basically being pushed upon. And of course, hey, I have to give Anthony's flack because, like I've said, tight spaces are always a tricky one, right? I've always talked about tight spaces. And I said, don't get into certain spots that you know you can't control because that's what it is. And it is a tough thing for men. It is tough. Any man that you ask at all, going in a tight space with a woman basically doing what she's doing, yes, you could get the outcome of what you're seeing just in front of you. But again, I just wanted to make sure I showed that he actually made some amount of attempt because I feel like what people give is Anthony being this horny dog that basically was never ever anything at all.
I belong to you. All of a
No, no, no,
sudden,
no, 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 no. Do not play the victim. No, no.
All right. So this now is the next encounter of him coming back over, and I'm going through this because I want y'all to follow. He comes back over. So first night basically he was drunk, right? The second night he went over there. She made sure that basically she consecrated it. Because of course she kind of worked on his head, and yes, he is a sucker based on what Angelina has said about him. Yes, he is. Right? Yes, he is. So it is what it is. Yeah, it's something that he needs to control. That's why he needs to work at this. This is something that he's worked, and I think he's working at this now more than ever. He's not there yet, and of course, Anthony needs a lot of work. But hey, it's something I'm working on because at least he hasn't, I guess, succumbed to any of Shayla's games yet. Physically, he hasn't succumbed to any of it as yet. But this is exactly, he goes back over and he's trying again to see if he can cut it off.
I told you the first time, okay, I was drunk.
you were drunk.
I was drunk.
Okay, so when you get drunk, you'll do anything then.
You took advantage of the situation. Now I'll take the blame for the other time.
All right. So that's him taking responsibility for the second time. And basically within this pure scenery, right? Within this motion, he's trying to get himself out of there. And I think what he's probably expecting is either she's going to be quiet or she's just going to tell Amber and they just go at it from here. And it is what it is. Whatever happened would have happened. It would have been what it is at this point in time, which I guess he probably is regretting these moments now because might as well he had basically come forward and let Amber know about all of this. And by the way, let's not forget that she was doing some stuff within this as well too. So they both were kind of doing things as they went along. This is how the marriage was built, and that's why when we talk about this marriage, it is not clear cut. It's not clear cut. There's a lot going on in it, and it's not clear cut.
Right? But that was a fling. Now it's over. Please do not waste my time calling me over here for anything like this again. She really loves me.
All right. This is his final plea to Shayla before everything changed. This is where Anthony fully changed, in case y'all not watching. So if we were to go off of Anthony's cheating episode, because we made it look like Anthony went back about 10 times or 20 different times, right? We made it look like that's really what happened, right? But that's not really what happened. Shayla made a move on him one time, which he was drunk. She manipulated him the second time into getting what he needs to do. Him have to take blame for that because, of course, yes, he has to control himself while being tempted, which is tough. But hey, let's just say we're going to put the blame on him. But he comes back over here and he's now trying to see if he can explain to this girl's home girl, hey, I think that this is not something great that we're doing. It's your home girl. I respect the fact that you have your home girl, and I'm trying to see if I can work it within both of y'all. Because that's what he's trying to do. Again, I'm showing this because of how we make it look like Anthony has been this horny dog through the entire relationship. That is not so. But it's a narrative people push. And I think I'm going to get into the Amber narratives as well too. So don't worry about it. I think I have some clips I want to find.
She's just honest, loving, faithful. Like,
The perfect wife.
yes, she's the perfect wife for me.
Well, what if I were to tell you that Amber is actually not so perfect?
Shayla, I understand that you're hurt right now. And
I'm hurt.
you may just be saying some things.
What
that
if
you may
I
not
told you that Amber was sleeping with Wayne the entire time y'all were engaged?
That's the first time everything changed in Anthony's mind. That right there is what has given you Anthony Dalton that you're seeing today. The Anthony you're seeing now is because of this moment right here. And I think people don't acknowledge this moment enough. Now, I do say, sure, he should have stopped himself. He should have get himself together as to what's going on. But I can also take another lens and look at it and show you exactly where his mind went in the bushes. Because whatever he thought, because remember, Anthony is a very, he's a one-track thinker. He's a one-track thinker, right? Just like people say, he always need to win. So he's sometimes very inflexible in his thought processes. In fact, if you look through the marriage and you look at how Amber asking for things, notice that it takes him a while to change his mind. He's not a very flexible thinker. He's very inflexible as a person. He's very rigid, static. This is where Shayla basically has bust up whatever thought he had in his mind was bust up right here.
The perfect wife. Amber's so perfect. She took me back.
Shayla, now, I know when people are hurt and things don't go the way they want them to go, they say some things that just think about what you're saying before you.
What if I told you Amber was not so perfect? When Wayne had his Netflix special, she watched it with him. They celebrated together. But she's so perfect, right? What if I...
Stop right there. So I know y'all remember that Netflix special, right? That you went over to basically watch with him. And I have some clips of whatever. I'm just showing you the layers that Shayla has in this entire marriage as to how the marriage is. Because what we're seeing of the Amber character now is an Amber character that has transformed over a period of time. What we've seen is Amber has transcended into something else, but Anthony has gone down. And the one common factor between the both of them is the Shayla character. That's the common denominator of every single solitary thing. This is why O'Neill gets this hell out of shape when it comes to the Shayla thing. This is why I get very, very active. This is where the marriage itself collapsed. This right here, so this exchange is where it collapsed.
Were to tell you that your perfect wife woke up with Wayne the morning of your wedding. She's so perfect.
There it is. I wanted to play the sequence because I wanted to give you all this. And remember, they have the Wayne sequence basically. So, in other words, this is a little bit after them get married, right? Wayne is basically right before them get married. So put those two things together, and that's where you have the Dalton's complication. Until you have Kai. That's where you have the Dalton's complication. But I feel like when people comment on the skits, if you're not interpreting this piece of the puzzle right here, so, and then when people start to go very hard on Amber for like the little things and with the whole idea of you trying to be mommy dearest with Kai and you trying to do this whole buddy thing with Shayla and you trying to do this podcasting, this is exactly where it falls. Shayla prayed on this man the entire time. She made sure her foot was... Like I said before, a lot of what happened to Amber is as a result of Shayla, because the truth of the matter is Shayla knew she had Anthony under control. Just like Angelina said he's a sucker for the Atlanta girls. Yes. She had him under control the entire time. So basically she used him to do whatever it is to make Amber as miserable as possible. That is what must be pinpointed. All of that must be pinpointed when we're talking about the entire story. If we're not talking about it with these important line pieces, I feel like where it goes is a very biased narrative, and that's why the pushback comes from the other side of the audience, because we already understand. Amber fans has loved the idea that Amber has transformed from, I guess, as like some people say, she's a reformed 304, right? We understand that, yes, she's been reformed and it took her some time and we've seen her development. But you must also understand where the Anthony character is coming from to where he is now, and how much he has basically fallen down, and the denominator that has crossed between both of them. Hey, give me y'all's take. Let me know what y'all think. Am I on to something? Am I off? Let me know what you think. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm going to talk to y'all soon.